just say go.
Yeah, you know I'm just nimble with Talia.
Billzy.
I ain't no liar. Yeah, more fire, baby.
I have to date bosses. We'll talk about that more later. But yes, because I'm like, bruh, I will have bruh boo-boos, yada yada, and I'm like, I don't want to be that person. That's the old manipulative, narcissistic person that was and that was on a rampage before I started this path to help in healing, not knowing that the things that I've been through, the trauma, the drama, the dilemma, have caused me to be that ex-pimp. Now, I won't necessarily, I'm not throwing it all in the trash. We're writing a movie about it because, like you said, like with Howie, if people really knew some of the stuff that was in my head, one of my friends is producing, I won't give it all away, but Confessions of a Narcissistic, and talking about healthy boundaries is what I'm going to piggyback on today and give it to you. But, just that the person, the real deep alter ego in me, my mother says you have when I speak Trini, she's like, yeah, it's split personality. And the alter ego in me, or the narc in me, is like, one, bitch, I got people in here I never even met yet. I'm still interviewing these motherfuckers, okay? like who's trying to get the next show? Let's go. Now that, especially now that I'm open to really getting to know me, and that's just a part of the process. It's like one of my creations is, it's 50 Shades of Leia. It's 50 Shades of me, baby. Trust me. And some of them you don't ever want to see. But one of my affirmations going into one of your podcasts, and you let us know do some affirmations. One of them is, I am free. I'm finally free to be the me you never wanted to see.
Wow, say that.
That includes Howie. That includes this movie. Listen, when I drop this movie on y'all,
I can't wait to see that movie.
And the book, I said in the book too. I said, yeah, we're gonna have to do some confessions, some real life confessions. But with that being said, let the dark side. That's one of these things that I'm really realizing in the self-care. Embracing the dark side, however you want to do it. Write it down. Visualize it, use it to create something positive for the future. Use it to change the world. Make it a better place. For sure. But do something with it for sure. One of my things today. But I want to give it back to you and let you talk to us or start our conversation, and we can back and forth it with healthy boundaries and self-care in our community, in the Black community. What the hell is healthy boundaries?
Right.
And what the heck is self-care?
Well, I want to say I'm no expert. It's hard to master.
Yes.
And I think, like you mentioned, just in the Black community, it's hard to set those healthy boundaries. Like, we're all struggling in different ways, and we feel like we've got to be there for each other, especially women. But it's like just knowing what you believe and what you want, and putting that before everybody else's needs and wants, and knowing when to say no, because you actually don't want to do that thing. And being okay with saying no and not feeling guilty or bad or obligated, but saying like, nope, not for me, no thank you. Like whatever that may be.
Yeah.
And so how do we establish that? Like, who are we outside of other people? And
ooh, that's so deep. Ooh, that was heavy. Who are we outside of other people?
That's a hard one. It's a hard one.
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah.
That's what self-love, that's the root.
I believe so. And getting to that understanding, and then, hopefully loving yourself. And then you want to take care of yourself. Like, if you think of yourself as a best friend, like, not you, because like when you're you, sometimes it's like you just put yourself on the back burner. It's okay to just like not worry about what you want or need or what's important to you or what makes you comfortable. But it's like, think of yourself outside of yourself. If you were looking at yourself like a best friend, like this person named Bree or Howie, and they're like, a good person, think about it like that. Be like, how would you want to treat that best friend? Is it kind to neglect them? Is it kind to, like, disregard their feelings? And think about how you're dealing with yourself in those terms, and then maybe, like, giving yourself more love and care. It's going to be important.
Yes. Yes.
But I struggle too, guys.
Say that. I tell folks all the time, and y'all, this is to encourage, okay? We are not putting our stamp or our seal on anything, but to encourage and to really foster a desire to seek the truth.
Exactly.
If nothing else, that's what this podcast is. Listen, and it is evolving as I evolve. But yes, to continue to seek truth for yourself, that's self-care. What is your truth? What is your truth? And then once you figure out what your truth is, i.e., Talea, Lakita Noble, I am bisexual. When you find out what your truth is, then you can walk in it. It no longer holds you. I'm no longer trapped by the church now. Baby, listen, I ain't got to preach at your church. I got my own podcast. I can preach over here. Thus saith the Lord. Proverbs 4:23. Guard your heart. Guard your heart. Boom. Or thus saith the Lord, and we can keep going, and we can keep going, and we can keep going. Y'all know me. Preachers always preaching. We not new to this. We true to this. This is it, though. And it took, you were going to say something. Say it.
I was going to say, I love how you can still be religious and appreciate your sexuality. And it's sometimes you encounter religious people and it's just like, well, you just have to be straight. And that's all that there is. But it's like, you know what? No, I'm this and I'm still Christian. And, that's lovely.
Thank you. It took me to the point of putting an actual Glock to my head. To get to this point, it took me several battles with suicidal ideations and thoughts, and it took me, when I say reaching out for help, not, hey, I need your help. No, I need your help. I need your help. Hold my hand and help me up just to get back on my feet. I told my daughter, some days I walk, some days I crawl. Some days I run, some days I walk, some days I crawl. But as long as you keep moving, the thing about it, and I thank you for the compliment. But it took me having a real conversation, a real relationship with God. The scripture says it was good that I had been afflicted. And it was good that everybody that I knew, Brie, you don't know much of my story, and I'm not going to get deep into it, but I've experienced homelessness. I've been ostracized. I'm the black sheep of my family. I've been molested by several family members, by men in the church. Trust me, the book and the movie is going to be off the chain. You will get a signed copy. Okay.
All right. I'm excited.
I'm no longer trying to kill myself, trying to hide what these folks did to me. And so a part of all of this is, yes, I am, and I can say it out loud, and I can confess who it is that I am as I've reinvented. And I didn't even think that was it. My sister just pointed it out to me the other day. She said, I'm so proud of you for reinventing yourself. And I'm like, what? Somebody else noticed that I'm over here changing and evolving. But just to use the word reinvented. And I'm like, actually, you damn Skippy.
I like that.
You know what, sis? Yeah, you dang Skippy.
Yeah.
You're right. Because sometimes the world will see you in your condition. Or, for example, they'll see Brie and be like, whatever. Or they'll see Talea and be like, psh, yeah, but little do you know the Divine Queen Supernova. I thought I told you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
I feel like sometimes black women are part ghost. Like we have that just could literally be invisible.
Yes.
So.
Yes. I just shout out to, I think it's Make a Star Productions. I just auditioned, I think it was last week or so, for a play that Mr. Cordell is doing. And I'm sitting and, the lower vibration self is telling me, oh, you can't act, blah, blah, blah. And that part of me, and you said on your podcast, I love being a black woman or something of that nature.
Yeah.
comes up and it rises up, and it's like, girl, you've been acting your whole damn life. What is you talking about? If you don't go in there and knock this out the park and tell the Lord thank you.
Fantastic.
Yes, because like you said, because of that ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we go back to trauma in childhood, if you go to, I know one of your mantras is the patriarchy, changing, knocking down, pulling down, and I'm like, oh, yes, Lord, thank you, like-minded people, pray, hallelujah, yes, okay, and it's what was the point of me bringing that? But it's I'm gonna shut up and just let you get to the meat. But yeah, I get so excited. But Bree, let's before the time winds up, hit us with any of your tools for self-care. What are boundaries? What are some of your boundaries? Help us. Help.
Tools for self-care.
Yes.
Like meditation.
Absolutely.
I don't want to say like I do it every day because sometimes I slip up.
Yes.
But I think it's like, okay, sit with yourself in this world that is like so fast paced. Everything from the internet, all of these obligations, things we have to do, job, work, school. Take some time. It doesn't even have to be long to start. If you can 5-10 minutes at the start or the end of the day, just sit with yourself. You might put on a song you like, something without lyrics, something kind of low key, but just to say, just to breathe and feel what's inside of you. Okay, like this is how the realizations and the things happen when you can just settle your mind, like it's like a glass of dirty water and you're just letting all the sediment kind of sift to the bottom, and then you can see things a little more clearly. So that's like step one. Then you might start to ask the hard questions like, well, why can't I say no? Or why do I always feel obligated? Or why do I always feel guilty? Why do I want everybody to like me? Like these things you'll start to sift through when you can sit with yourself for long enough. And then maybe you start to say, well, I want to change that. I want to love myself. And certain other self-care is just like, I like taking a nice shower or bath and using like shea butter and associated products. I like to just get out in nature. I like to take a hike every once in a while. I get lost in the forest in Yellow Springs for hours.
Yellow Springs.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
John Bryan State Park.
Amen.
But, wherever you choose to go, like just breathe the fresh air for a bit. Gardening is a good thing,
Yes.
There's a million different options. You can look it up depending on your interest. Maybe that's not something you're interested in, but there's other ways of just saying, like, I want to do this activity and I want to do it fully, mindfully, presently, not like checking my phone every 5 seconds or like thinking of all these other things. Just be like, this is for me to relax, to see myself.
One of the things I like that you said about it was just sit with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When you say meditate, some people run like it's too complicated, it's too deep, or it's too hard. And I embrace and really love the way that you've honed it. Just sit with yourself.
Yep.
Sit with yourself, calm yourself, love yourself. And what I'm learning about meditation is that it is the motherfucking gift that keeps on giving. It keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Bree, it keeps giving and giving and giving. It's like, okay, even if you don't necessarily do it every day, you get in a routine, you do it. It comes up, it rises to the occasion. When adverse conditions come, where Tale or Lakita would have took your head off. Okay, ate it for lunch, spit it out, gave it back to you, molded that, put it on a stand, and gave it to you as a gift. Made a little bobblehead. Okay, with that for the ex-pimp.
Wow.
As a reminder, I like to teach lessons once. Okay, but this new Zenful me. The divine queen, and God gave me that, queen, however, break it down, whichever part, is, in such a different place because I've sat with myself. But even if you don't do it every day, it's still going to have an effect on you, is the point. It's still going to rise to the occasion. You'll still begin to see the effects of it. And what happens is the more you do it, the more effects you'll have. It's like a bank. It really literally is like making a bank deposit, and you're getting interest, but it's more like, let me do Bitcoin. You're getting more of an interest like right now, than waiting and waiting, and you have a well to literally to spring from. It's one of those. Thank you, Holy Spirit. What is that? The retirement plan at the end.
The IRA?
The IRA.
401k?
Yes.
Yeah.
401k, all that good stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Thank you. Yes. I put in 10. You put in 10, I put in 20. That's meditation. Or you put in 10, I put in 10. However, but meditation it's not fair. If you put in 10, the God of the universe going to put in 20. Trust me, you're going to be straight. And you keep going and going and going. And even if you suck out 20, which is, hence, you have to make it a lifestyle. You have to keep doing it.
Right.
So you do have something to pull from in those times of stress and adversity in any and all kind of ways. I was just looking at the car situation, and I remember the first thing out of my mouth, I literally breathed, exhaled, and I was like, thank you, Lord. That was the first thing out of my, what? Was thank you? And I'm sitting on the side of the road blocking traffic. I'm like, girl, you are coming along. You're something else. And sometimes you do. My sister taught me that self-praise is no praise. But if I had a conversation with my sister now, I would tell her bullshit. Because, hey, I had to be like, you know what, girl, that is, as God told me, a little progress goes a long way. Mm-hmm. And it does. It really does.
I love everything you just said about that. Self-praise is so important. It's kind of like you said about affirmations. Like, for whatever reason, we'll do the world and we won't say anything about it. We'll just be like, oh, I was supposed to. But it's like, no, you should celebrate that and be like, well, got that done. This is great. Like, or even in the bad times, in the worst times, being able to find the good is so important.
Yes.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend, somebody just finished their DATV certification. I'm like, that's a big deal. Let's celebrate. Yeah. Every little thing along the way, I celebrate. You finish reading the book, and it doesn't have to be outrageous. It can be, you know what, I'm going to eat some ice cream this week, or I'm going to treat myself to Chipotle, or you know what, I'm going to freaking call Bree and see what the heck she's doing just because. I'm going to finally do that Zoom conference, or you know what, I'm going to reach out and find another movie to audition for. Celebrate. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to color tonight. One of my favorite things to do, me and my daughter used to do it too. Listen, Chipotle, I love my Chipotle, or even when she was going, Chipotle, a bottle of wine, and Sex in the City. And I'm like, this is a great night. I don't need anything or anybody. I am Gucci.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And me and my daughter used to have a TV day today watching The Voice. And just find something that you love, that you don't do all the time, that you can make a celebration. Make a little celebration list. I deserve to celebrate. Yeah. Let me write that down. That's off the dome. We're going to make a little celebration list. It'll be our homework. If you make you a celebration list, holla at your girl. Tell us where you're putting on your celebration list. Comment below, all that good stuff. Y'all know I'm horrible with that, but I want to know. And tell us. And let me just, while I'm at it, let me shout out to 427 Beast. Thank you for your subscription. God bless you. Listen, yes, say that. Hey, okay. Listen, it's because of y'all we're still here today. And I mean that. I'm not joking. I have people that I don't even know, Bree, when I'm like low. And I'm like, excuse my language, this podcast, okay? And they're like, nope, keep going. Somebody's watching, or you're doing a great job, or, somebody just said something today, and I'm like, Mama Kathy, you watching? Just for one person to say good job, or keep going. It's like little words. You don't know how much your support and your encouragement means to somebody. So I just want to take the time. I said, I'm going to start acknowledging the people, man. We have to acknowledge the people, we are more alike, as we say, than we know. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing. Somebody asked me the other day, well, something about how do I stay in this place with the healing? And as a healer, when you can get so frustrated because, like, for example, some of my family is just like, X-Nay, you do yoga, you're the devil. Okay, that's fine.
Yoga?
Girl, you don't know what I go through. I try to encourage people to live a healthy life. You know, my stepfather has cancer, and I remember sending him this list of herbs that you need, and he blocks me because I sent him a list of herbs, and I was like, dude,
That's incredible.
like, this is gonna, I'm like, you know what? I get it. I get it. 'Tis life.
Yeah.
Everybody, and that's a part of my healing process. Everybody does not want what you have, nor are they obligated to take it. Some people are comfortable living their life. It takes work. Self-care takes work, honey.
It does.
Hey, let's pause on that note. Self-care. I'm learning about it.
No, but I love that.
Work. It takes work, and you have to tell yourself to fuck yourself. Excuse my language with the F-bombs today. Oh, well, because this is serious, and you have to be like, no, I'm sorry. Oh, you're going for a walk. Oh, yes, you are. Bet you are. As a matter of fact, put your shoes on right now, girl.
Yeah.
Oh, no, actually, you had enough meat this week. Let's eat a salad tonight. That's what we gonna do. No, that's exactly what you're gonna do. You made the salad. Now you're gonna eat the salad. Sometimes, breathe, the other alter ego in me, the pimps me and lets me know, no, you're gonna do that yoga. No, you're not gonna have Bree waiting on you forever, ever.
I was not Andre 3000, guys. I was not waiting forever.
I love you so much already. I did better. And here's the thing, and that's the key. Better is good, as my nephew would say. I did better today than I did last week.
There it is.
Ooh, Rosie can testify. And better is good. And the thing is, accept it unless and until you start doing something, you won't know where you are to even be able to evaluate how much better you need to get. And you have to acknowledge the fact that, ooh, I suck on this part in order to even work on it.
Yep.
Can you imagine me grandiosely walking in here at, whatever time, like, bloop, doo, 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 and not even, and there was a time where I was. And I thank God for the ATV. Y'all my new church. Listen, there was a young lady here. I can't think of her name right now, but I have shouted out. She is on my podcast, and she has a show here, and hopefully it'll come to me. But our first encounter was, she's like, you're not walking in integrity. If you can't be on time, you're not walking in integrity. And I'm thinking I'm integrous, and she's no, you're not, because you have a lack of consciousness when it comes to not just your time, other people's time. And I'm like,
yeah.
But thank God I was already in the place where I was open to receive. And it was like, powerful, beautiful, older black woman punched me in the face, and I'm now forever grateful. And probably a year later, I'm like, fuck, I'm still running late. But guess what? Now I actually care, and I'm conscious of it.
That's important.
Before, it was my signature. It was like, I'm not going unless I'm late. What? But guess what? Hey, shout back out. Hey, Oprah, holla at me, girl. Shout back out to Oprah. What happened to you? My mother was late everywhere. We were late everywhere. We never were on time. Like physical sound effects. It was embedded in my head to be late. Now it's like, oh, you want to be a billionaire? What your ass better learn how to do, powerful black woman, is be on time.
That's important.
Oh, my God.
But it's interesting, like you said, like, that's how you learned it, so it wasn't really an issue.
Right, who knew?
Yeah.
I mean,
but I'm late sometimes, too. It happens.
Yeah. And I'm using that as one of my examples, but just to show how, those generational lessons that are passed down, domestic violence, for example. You brought that up with the awareness, and I am a domestic violence survivor. Those behaviors are passed down. Criticism, children growing up with low self-esteem and us walking around with our heads down. That is passed down.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. So, and we aren't taught. But so what I'm ready for is for us to pass down the self-love. Mm-hmm. That's what with the reinvention, I'm trying to pass that down and let my daughter know. Listen, yes, you can do it. You can love yourself. With the healthy boundaries, I'm going to go off the dome, because one thing that I wanted to let the people know is that with healthy boundaries, you have what I call an internal umpire. I don't know, I'm saying it wrong. Umpire that throws up what I call red flags. And with me, because I am probably an empath, if that's the right word, where I'm just, oh, poor everybody, oh, save the world.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I can very much relate.
Like what the fuck? Save the whole world. Where, you have to, like you said, not only be able to have that empire, throw up a flag, say no, we're not doing this, no, we're not going there, but also not feel the shame and the guilt in regards that weighs us down so much and so heavy. The shame and the guilt, and I'm no doctor, I am a counselor, I am licensed, I'm not practicing. Hear me when I say do your research, get you a therapist, talk to somebody.
That's incredible.
God bless you, thank you. But the shame and the guilt will get the obsession going. And now I can't stop thinking about what it was I didn't do because I didn't please Johnny. Or in my case, my mama, which was never possible when you grow up with a narcissistic mom, which is what we're going back to with the healthy boundaries. Or my pastor. I did it and I did it and I did it. And it was never good enough. And I did it the best. I listen, I am the best because I didn't have a choice but to be the best. And it was still never good enough. And it's like that shit mentally fucks you, not to mention growing and becoming who you are. And you're like, I'm a kid and I know I'm bisexual. But you want me to preach Sunday and I'm not allowed to be bisexual, so I got to crucify the bisexual in me, even though I'm probably going to talk to one of my girlfriends after church. Or she prayed for me before I got up here, which is the only reason why. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
I remember the first time I brought one of my girlfriends, quote unquote, to church. Deep. We ain't even gonna get into that part right now. But but with the self-care, it's and at the time I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Now that I'm sitting back looking at it, but at the time I didn't even know. And that's the point, that you can allow yourself to be entrenched in communities that will not just the American system, not just white supremacy,
Even though
I'm talking about, yes. Oh, trust there is. Thank you. But our people that will literally try to enslave you to their thoughts and to their perception of you and to what it is, or, even down to religious doctrine, to their beliefs. And you are trying to twist and turn yourself to be this creature that you're not.
Yeah.
And God gave me a book, Bree, which, and this is where I could see us doing some work together, too, with the artistry. He gave me a children's book, Mama, Why Did God Make Butterflies? And at the time, I didn't have a clue as to why he gave it to me. I just write stuff down. I'm like, okay, Lord. And so he's been sprinkling and trickling it on me. But the butterflies process with the cocoon, as far as the self-love and the incubation and that time of development that is so necessary. But then just today, he dropped a revelation and bomb on me. He said, you seldom see butterflies flying together. I said, huh? I said, what? I was just like, what? For the first time in my life. Generally, butterflies fly alone. In general. Except they're being cultivated on a farm or something like that. In general, you see a free butterfly. You don't see butterflies. And it made me come back to this today, the self-care, that it is so important, and the garden of the heart. And the thing about garden of the heart, it says, because out of it flows the issues of life. And the scripture goes and says, pulpit, it's better to walk alone. And so that butterfly made me think, and as much as interpersonal relationships are so powerful, I cannot give you anything, Bree, if I am not walking freely as me.
Hit the button. Yes.
Which one? Okay. Yes.
All of them.
All of them. I can't. I have to be able to walk alone. I have to be able to get my zen in, my time in. I have to. Otherwise, I'm coming in here and I'm talking because I have lips, and I ain't talking about nothing. And the thing about it is, as a part of our journeys, what I learned is that it's not just, I can be educated all day, and I've run into some very educated people. What I've learned in my process that's self-healing is that trauma not only comes up in what you do and how you respond, it comes up in what you say. I can say the nicest thing, Bree, I love you. I can say, I love your Puma hoodie. I really actually freaking do.
Thank you.
However, trauma can say it in a whole nother manner. Bree, I love your hoodie. You know what that says? That says, I ain't never had a hoodie like you had because I grew up poor and whoop, and it's cute on you because you got a nice little shape and blah, 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 but whatever. But I do like your hoodie, though. And let me be honest, that's how most black women do. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, that's how we do each other. For example, I run into women all the time, and they go, oh, you lost weight.
Right. That's unfortunate.
Is that a compliment?
Yeah.
Girl, even if it was, oh, you lost weight. The how is it? Our trauma and the fact that we're not whole, it spews out. Mm-hmm. On it over everything we say, regardless. I used to try to tell my mom that. She says, what? And not what I say is how, it's not what or how I say it, not what I say, not how I say it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Somebody comment below. You know your mama said, it ain't what I said, it's how I say it. Is that right? Help us out. But I was like, actually, it kind of is how you say it.
You're completely right.
And God gave it to me. Yes, say it. Don't spray it.
Right.
Say it with love. People can receive it with a little bit of honey.
Absolutely. Can I say,
Please.
I love your sweater today.
Thank you.
And the elephant necklace is quite charming.
Thank you, Bree. And I got dressed for you. Hold on, because I always do. I do it for all my people, and I even go down to the shoes. Let me show the people. For Bree,
Would you
with
look
the
at
polka
this?
dots.
Oh my goodness!
And I do it because I'm like, this is one of my artistries. I love to get dressed.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I wanted to switch it because I did my homework and saw you're doing your TV show, and I love the empowerment on the T-shirts, and I rock the T-shirts, and I'm like, I should rock a T-shirt in honor of, but I was like, I felt like you would feel this today going back to Biscuit Town. Because to be honest, Bree, I'm actually very shy.
Get out of town.
Biscuit Town. I am actually very shy. I really don't like talking to people. I just found out this past year that I have social anxiety. I've always had it. I just never knew what the hell it was. Thank God for friends, accountability partners, and starting a journey. And I'm one that I love being behind the camera. The Lord told me like several years ago before this came that I had a year to prepare myself to get in front of the camera. And I'm like, nope, not doing it. Sorry. Every time I preached at church, I have witnesses, was trembling with the microphone. I really am. I'm a nerd all day, every day. I get lost in studying, and I have to cut it off. Like, okay, girl, balance. Go get back with the rest of the world. Absolutely. Come back, type stuff.
I can relate. Yeah.
Yes. So I say that because as I was studying you, I'm like, we have a lot more in common than I would have. Not that I wouldn't have, but that I knew. Mm-hmm. And but I'm just grateful. So I rock my rock today, even though I have some wardrobe malfunctions going on, but it's all good in the hood. For you.
Thank
yes,
you. Thank you.
Yes,
I'm
from
honored.
Biscuit Town. Thank you.
I want to speak on something you mentioned earlier, just about like how sometimes other black women, we don't know how to support each other. And it can come from a place of our own insecurities or our own trauma. Yeah. And it's just like, it's that poison we're spewing out. We don't know how to be encouraging, be supportive. We don't know how to like adjust each other's crowns. Yes. It's like we're like trying to knock each other over, but it's like, that's really not it, because we're all we have, really. Like there's, like I said, we're at the bottom of the totem pole in society. Demographically, like, who gets the short end of the stick? The black woman, the black and brown women, So, like, whatever that means for you, dark. Dark people with vaginas. Like, we can't get a break out here. So, I feel like every opportunity you can to support those like you, you've got to take that. Because it's just like you sitting across the hall, and it's like maybe there's like I said, internal animosity or this or that, but it's like that's not your enemy. Like, that's literally you. So it behooves you to say
that.
something nice, something encouraging, something supportive, and to really like, you know, I don't know.
That's so deep. That's so deep and so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's literally you.
Yeah.
I'm taking that. It is. It's literally you. It's not even just your sister. It's you.
Exactly.
And it makes me think of that quote, Maya Angelou. When I stand as one, but I come as 1,000. I hope I'm not messing it up. And if I am, y'all comment below and let us know. But you know what I'm saying? I come as one, but I stand as 1,000. When I come with this experience forevermore, I'll be taking you with me, Bree. What? That freedom, everything, I'm taking you with me.
Yes.
And the other women that I've encountered, including my grandmother, and women I've never encountered, including Oprah, for example. I'm
Hopefully, one day.
taking y'all with. Yes, definitely gonna meet you one day for sure. Taking these other women with us, our roots, and that's what I was loving about your show that I was learning today, and just being reminded about like Alice Walker. I'm like, I never knew Alice Walker was black.
Listen, I can say I've not read a lot of Alice Walker, so I can see that.
I'm over here like I'm not even Catholic, but I'm like my mouth dropped, and all the other artists, and you know, and I'm just sitting here like, wow, this is beautiful. But if you hadn't thought to do this,
I try, and it's like, man, it's moments like these, and it's moments like, okay, earlier this month I got to be on Toby Ewing's podcast.
Shout out to Toby Ewing. I don't even know you, but okay, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Write you down.
Yes. Wonderful artist. Beauty is a metaphor. Check her out. She's always doing awesome things. But like, she has a podcast, Pleasure Principles. And I had another really wonderful, enlightening conversation like the one we're having, where it's like, I see what I'm doing is recognized by, you know, certain people who are also doing it. And that's just like one of the most incredible feelings, because otherwise you're like, sometimes it's like, I don't know that I make the show for the DATV audience. All due respect to that audience, but it's like people who watch Channel 5 on DATV, I don't think they really care about Baby Biscuit Town. But, you know, it's also online, and it does reach other people, other artists, and it feels good to get that acknowledgement, to have somebody like kind of understand where it's coming from. And so I appreciate the compliments, and I appreciate that you kind of recognize what I'm trying to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely get it. But you know what, doesn't it feels there's another level as a creator when you do get that go ahead from another creator, because this is not because it's blood, sweat, and tears that go into this.
Absolutely.
And I feel like I'm a rookie in the game, and you know, it's very easy to say to lose sight of the vision, in particular because of life. Just because of life, not because we don't love the vision, not because we're not married to the vision, but life life is a real bitch. She knows how to, you know, punch you real straight, square in the face, okay?
For sure.
Seriously, I told one of my old mentors that. I said, you know, depression's a real bitch, but life is a real bitch. And she's like, you have to figure out another way to say that. I can't help you market that. And I'm like, I don't need your help, because life is a real bitch. Okay, it is. Yeah. And but that's the thing about the self-care, the meditation, how'd you say it? Sitting with yourself, taking that time, eating healthy. I'm realizing that eating is such a major part of our moods, our diet. You know, just the way we eat has a big impact on our mental health, on our moods, on our day period, on our productivity, on our creativity, on our interactions. And so food, we have to look at food differently. We have to look at food differently. We really do. And while I have our attention about food, we have to even think about not wasting it. So many that don't have food. So I was just telling a business owner, hey, don't pass out old food. Give it away to the homeless person standing right next to your shop.
Right.
Thank you. Appreciate you. God bless you. You know, still, are we still human? But on the healthy boundaries tip and going back to this, the empire within yourself, there are certain principles that each of us have. Certain things, and we have to sit down and really start thinking about these things. Each one of us has certain values, our deal breakers, our $1 million check, deal or no deal. You know, for example, what do I mean, certain values? So for me, integrity is one of those. I have to deal with people that walk in and have integrity, that are honest, and that have work ethic. A lot of people nowadays, I was watching a show and they were asking what was the biggest, what was the best thing to have as an entrepreneur, work ethic or the ability to network? And 3 out of 4 people said network. And that's because we're a society that depends on, well, Bree, you know, shout out to Toby. So hook me up with Toby, and I'm going to hook you up with Chris. Mm-hmm. And boom, and we just going to keep our stuff going because I'm trying to climb and you trying to climb. So you, versus let me hustle. Let me stay low. Let me do whatever it takes to get my mission mantra message out. Let me octopus arms. Let me sweat blood and tears. Let me beg Cheryl to come back or ask Talia for help or whatever it is. Let me do it. Let me beg Bree to help me do this book and illustrate and all kind of everything.
I'm here to help.
Say that. I am too. This is what we do, okay? This is what we do. And when you start taking care of yourself, guess what? The universe will take care of you. And like I told my friend, guess what? Stuff will just start coming to you like, oh, you needed this? You need a social media marketer? You need a brander? You need a designer? You need an editor? Here, whoa.
True.
Because you're loving yourself, and when you love yourself, you can love others, and you can pass it on.
It's the only way.
You have to listen. You have to pick it up before you can pass it on. Rewind that track. You have to pick it up before you can pass it on. And most of us do not actually really truly love ourselves. You couldn't have told me I didn't love myself, honey. I thought I was the finest thing since anything. Since Michael Jackson's Bad. You couldn't tell me I wasn't bad, Bree. I was bad and I knew it until, no, the Lord let me know, no, you're not. You know? But and going back to just with the boundaries, y'all, as far as I wanted to say, you know, when you're not in healthy relationships, look these things up. If you're going through things, my partner gives me the silent treatment. What is this a sign of? Have your, what I call 1, 2, 3 structure out. Don't see yourself in the same situations over and over and over again, thinking that things are going to change. You have to put a boundary in. You have to put a time limit in and say, hey, wait a minute. Let me step back for a second. Let me reevaluate. Let me find out what's going on. As a matter of fact, let me, and I think you said something to this effect, but take 5 seconds to look at me and see how I'm contributing to the foolishness that's going on around me. A lot of times I have to tell myself, Talia, slow down. When I don't slow down, I self-sabotage. And I mean, it can be the littlest thing, like breaking a dish, you know, messing up with this or that, or blah, 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 getting a speeding ticket, because you self-sabotage. So put those boundaries in on yourself, like I was talking about at the beginning of the show. Oh, well, if you have to go into alter ego mode and talk to yourself, hey, what to go on? You need to make an appointment with your therapist. Nah, you done lost your mind today. Go on and sit down. Have several seats.
Wow.
Be humble and sit down. Oh, well, too bad, so sad. Whether I look in the mirror, the camera, the phone, or just in passing as I'm driving my car. Now the ex-pimp is pimping me. Hey, get your weather together. Get your weather together, girl. And keep your weather together. So put those boundaries in first and foremost. And hear me when I say on yourself. This show is not the show for y'all, for folks to go home and walk around and start telling people, you start doing this. Don't tell me this. No, when you really have healthy boundaries, you can deal with anything that comes your way. You are able to face anything that comes your way because you can say, you know what? You have to be in tune in that situation. Your healthy boundary will say, you know what, I need 5 minutes. I'm going to step outside. You don't need to make an announcement to the whole world or room. I'm going to excuse myself. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to woosah. I'm going to breathe so I don't hurt anybody. Boom. That's a healthy boundary for me, because I know if I continue to engage in this conversation, things are not going to go well. So put those boundaries in on yourself. Hey, you know what, Talea? Today's not a great day for you to be extra volunteering to do anything. Why? Because you're tired, or because you have a podcast and afterwards you're drained. So no, we're not signing up to volunteer for anything else afterward. Put those healthy boundaries in on yourself, whereas the old Talea would have been like, sure, girl, I'll squeeze in everything in on the same day and we'll make it all happen, Captain. And it doesn't go effectively. And now I'm stressed and tense, and now I'm bringing stress to your show. And put those in on yourself first, meaning exercise for the body, but exercise for the mind. Reading a book. I don't care if it's a paragraph. Listen, one paragraph will accelerate and just change your life. And speaking of one, I did want to point one out on my quest to find out what happened to me. One thing that I saw that I wanted to share with everybody. Bear with me 1 second, because we're wrapping it up and we're about to go.
No pressure. This has been lovely.
Thank you.
I'm so honored.
Say that. I should have marked it. This is what happens when you breathe in your sleep by the bed. But I want to encourage the folks to even just to get this. This is a workbook to go with the book. But just talking about, what happened. Let's see. And it gives you lessons, goals, action steps, a checklist to take, so you can, check in and be with yourself, so you can butterfly, cocoon yourself. And sometimes you have to take time to do that. I'm at a place, Bree, where I'm like, I'm not dating. I can't officially seriously date, because I realize, well, yes, you're a great woman, but there's still pieces of you that are broken. And then the ugly truth is there are still pieces of you that are toxic. And it's like, given in a certain situation, which part is going to rise to the occasion? Yes, of course I want the healthy, healed part to come up, but there's still broken pieces. There's still trauma, drama, and dilemma. Trauma, drama alert. Y'all don't forget about your trauma, drama alert. Trauma, drama alert. Don't forget. Okay? And so I'm like, I don't want to do that to anybody else anymore. So except until I really deal with this trauma part, I think I'm going to hold off on that piece. And that is self-care.
That's self-care. That's a healthy boundary.
Hey, say that.
Healthy boundaries are an act of self-love too. So
yes,
that's all.
It is.
Connected.
It is all connected. It's all one. It all ties in together. I'll find this for you guys next time and highlight that. But I just want to reiterate that the healthy boundaries start with you. Start with you, and just try something small. Try something small, like I'm learning how to keep the Sabbath. So that's not really technically small, not at all. Woo, this is a doozy, honey. Okay, when I first started, I'm like, whoa. But try something small and just say, okay, I'm going to turn my phone off at a certain time, just so I can rest. Healthy boundary. Or for example, when I do my yoga and meditation, I put my phone on do not disturb. That is a healthy boundary. I do not answer the phone every time my phone rings. That is a healthy boundary.
Or check every text.
Oh, heck no. Healthy boundaries. Self-care. Queen Bree. Baby Buns Lil Freak. Baby Buns McGee. Howie, you are free to be the me. We ain't ready. We ain't even seen yet. Let me go. Do you have anything for the people? Any last things, words? Please, I would love to have you back one day. I have to say that part.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely. Positively honored.
Man, what do I have to say? I just want to say thank you for inviting me. Thanks for the conversation. This stuff inspires me as much as anything.
Thank you.
I'm no expert. I'm trying every day like everybody else. So it's definitely, it can be a struggle, but just look after yourselves, folks. You know what I'm saying? Be sure to make yourself a priority, too. You're important. You deserve a lot. So, see that. Give yourself grace.
Amen. And y'all, yes, go check out Baby Biscuit Town. Listen, episode 7. Three times and I'm not done. I'm still taking notes.
Oh my God.
But yes, you have to hit the bars, see the bars, listen to the bars that you dropped, and your philosophy on vagina. Y'all, you gotta hear. I wanted you to talk about it. We'll talk about that when you come back.
Oh man,
because that was powerful as hell. I'm like, what? I never thought about that.
Could I touch on it a little?
Yes, please.
Okay, so there's a skit on this episode 7 of Baby Biscuit Town called Pussy versus Portal.
Yes.
And I know, a lot of people call vagina pussy, and I was like, why? I don't understand. That just reminds me of cats and Hello Kitty and cutesy things. But it's like, I think of vagina as a portal. It's very science fiction. It's very futuristic. But it's like, like a black hole, because, black holes have their own gravitational pull. People are attracted to vaginas. They have their own gravitational pull. You can get lost in them. Things get lost in them. It can, like, matter from other realms come through both. Like, babies come through the vagina. Asteroids and such come through black holes. Like, anyway, it's very science fiction. So it's like, if that's like too much metaphor for you, Yoni is also a good name because there's more spiritual relevance.
I was wondering what you said. I thought you said yogi.
Oh darn! I gotta add that.
Say yoni. Okay, let me write that down.
Yes, yoni, because
Yes.
we just, in thinking, like you said, about how we speak and like affirmations and things, it's like, let's make this as important as it is, and not this kind of like, I don't know, like the moniker itself just suggests something a lot less deep than what an actual vagina is, which is like incredibly deep. Oh, and the last parallel I made is like, we don't know a lot about black holes. Like, there's still a lot that perplexes us, and people don't know a lot about vaginas either. So I was like, it's another parallel. And
the end all be all was take care of
Yes.
our precious portals.
Yes, indeed.
Take care of our precious portals. Okay? Listen, and we are out of here on that note. It is Let's Talk About It. Listen, with Talea and my girl Bree.
Woo!
It's the real, the raw, the relevant podcast. We are out of here at last. God bless you. Thank you, Bree, for coming through.
Absolutely.
Hallelujah.
Woo!
Baby Biscuit Town
Baby
on
Biscuit
IG
Town.
just now. Tell her I sent you one time for your holy mind. God bless y'all. We'll catch you on the flip side. Take care of yourself.
Take care.
Put in those healthy boundaries. Say no. Let me go. Comment. Subscribe. Hit the notification so
That's
you know
right.
when we go live. That part for the start. We out.
Yeah. I'm just nimble with Talea.
BILLCY.
I ain't no liar. Yeah. More fire. Baby. Aye.
For the whole law is fulfilled in one word. In the statement, you shall love your neighbor as yourself.